How's it going, Borderlands community, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. I'm your host, Rising Oblivion. Today we're going to be going over Flank's skill trees. Went over Amara's last time, also went over a couple of different things with how each character does their skill trees a little bit differently. Today we're going to go over Flank's though. Flank is also a bit unique in his style as he gets to choose two different things. He gets to choose the certain pet that he wants to have that will aid beside him during his fights, and he can actually use that pet to attack, and he also gets his action skill while also having the ability to have two different action skill augments or effects. Mara had some different stuff. She had the elemental effects, but she also had some augments as well. Flank has a pet, an action skill, and two action skill augments or effects. So we're going to jump through his skill trees. We have the Stalker skill tree, we have the Hunter skill tree, and the Master skill tree. Now something really cool that you can do is whenever you pick your pet, you can choose them, but you also can choose an action skill from a completely different skill tree. So you're not limited to only, choosing a certain pet from a certain skill tree and having to also use that same action skill. You can actually mix and match between different pets and different action skill trees that you want to go down. So let's start off here at Hunter. The Hunter has the first pet being the Spiderant. The Spiderant, Flank is joined by a little Spiderant companion, which will regenerate Flank's health constantly. Press F to issue an attack command, which will cause the Spiderant to charge into enemies. 1% max health regeneration per second. Let's go over all the pets. And the Master one, we have the Guard Skag. Flank is joined by a little Skag companion, which will increase Flank's damage. Hold F to issue an attack, causing 5 damage. Moving on to the next one, we have the Jabber Sidekick. Flank is joined by a lower Jabber companion armed with a pistol, so it's a Jabber with a pistol equipped. While accompanied by the Jabber, Flank's movement speed is increased. Hold F to issue an attack, which will cause the Jabber to throw a radiation barrel. Okay, so it just literally just yeets a barrel and causes damage. So it's plus 5% movement speed for the Jabber. With the Spiderant, it's plus 1% max health regeneration per second, and then the Skag has just 5 damage. But let's just go down the skill tree. We're going to start with the Hunter one. The Hunter gives us the rack attacks. Flank sends forward 2 racks to dive bomb enemies. This causes multiple charges, so you can use it multiple times, it seems. So go ahead and we're going to equip that, and we're going to equip the Spiderant as well. So let's just go down the skill tree. We're going to list them off here and see how this goes. You notice on the left side you have the action skill augments, and on the right side you actually have the different pets. So your pet will actually change depending on the skill tree. Each skill tree has 4 there on the side, 2 different pet styles on the right, and then the augments are there on the left, and the normal skill tree is down the middle. So his is pretty symmetrical when it comes to each of the different skill trees. But the Hunter one, let's go over that for now. Hunter kill skill. Whenever Flank kills an enemy, they gain a stack of interplanetary Stalker. For each stack of interplanetary Stalker, they gain a bonus to all damage dealt. Additionally, they gain a unique stacking bonus depending on the type of enemy killed. Each unique bonus can stack to up to 3 times. Each stack decays after a short time, so it's a kill skill. We've seen those before. Pretty cool. When Flank scores a critical hit, there is a chance for 1 ammo to be added to their magazine, and upgrading that will increase the chance for that ammo to be added back. So basically, you're just not running out of ammo, especially if you're using critical hit shots, you'll just gain that ammo right back. Hunter kill skill. Whenever Flank kills an enemy, they gain increased reload speed. This bonus is increased if Flank scores a critical kill. So let's go ahead and spec down to the next level here. So this next level here, we unlock a very first action skill augment. Converts Flank's rack into cryo damage, deals cryo elemental damage. So we can actually choose to equip one of those. I'm going to equip it into slot 1. Look over to Hunter's Eye. Flank gains bonuses. That's professional. Flank gains bonuses while fighting different types of enemies. Critical hit damage, armor damage, and damage reduction to beasts. Moving on, we have head count. Whenever Flank scores a critical hit, there is a chance for action skill cooldown to be reduced. That's a pretty cool skill. And then Ambush Predator. While there are no enemies nearby, Flank's weapon handling and critical hit damages are increased. That's a pretty dope one as well. Let's move on to the next bottom here. We actually have our first action skill change. We'll actually change what our Spiderant will look like. This is Spiderant tree, so we get the Spiderant Scorcher, which is just a fire version of the Spiderant. Spiderant evolves into a Scorcher, occasionally dealing incendiary damage to all nearby enemies. While accompanied by the Scorcher, Flank constantly regenerates health and gains elemental resistance. So not only is he gaining now health every second, he's also getting a plus 10% elemental damage resistance. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Two Fang. Flank has a chance to fire an extra projectile per shot. It's pretty cool. And then we have the other one here. While Flank's rack damage an enemy, a portion of Flank's health is restored. Pretty dope. We'll put that on. So this one's pretty nice. You'll see how we can get that. So we can get that to a 25% extra projectile chance. So that's pretty cool. Moving over to here, we have Flock and Load. Flank sends forward additional racks. So it just sends 2 more racks instead of how many do we have here? So 2 racks. So it'll actually double the amount of racks that you send out with that. Flank's hunter skills become more effective and have a longer duration. So that's pretty nice to have on there. If you want to mix and match and go to some of the other skill trees, and you want those to be faster, you probably should go ahead and do these here. When it talks about hunter skills, it's talking about some of the other ones that you'll see through here and some of the other ones on the other skill trees as well. So this is good for a nice little longer duration and a longer effect if you want that. The most dangerous game, hunter kill skill. Whenever Flank kills a badass or a stronger enemy, they gain increased critical hit damage, gun damage, and handling for a long time. So it's 120 seconds. That is quite a bit. Additionally, they receive a cash reward from the Intergalactic Bureau of Bounty Hunting. So whatever that is, that might be Sir Hammerlock's thing, maybe? I don't know. Spider-Ant Countess. For Flank, Spider-Ant evolves into a Countless, which will cause Flank to constantly regenerate health and gain damage reduction. So it's not elemental anymore. It's just flat out damage reduction, which is a 5%. So that changed that up a little bit here. Let's see how high we can get that. So it's 100% of the duration plus 30% on the effects if we level that up all the way. Moving on to the final rack action skill augment. Flank's rack have additional cooldown rate, so the cooldown rate is increased by 20% and it gains an additional 1 charge. So this is pretty cool. If you want to mix and match things, you can gain 1 charge here, and on this one you gain 2 more charges. So we equip that to slot 1. So we could have 2 from here, 2 from here, and then 1 from there, giving us the maximum of 5 charges if we wanted to do that. I don't think there's anywhere else that adds any more charges, but we can have entire 5 racks go out and then one of our own creatures. So technically you could send out 6 creatures at one time to fight enemies, and that's pretty dope. That's a lot of enemies to be, a lot of allies, I guess, to be on your side. Flank deals increased critical hit damage, and enemies are less likely to attack them. Not bad, 15% on that one. Moving over, Grim Harvest. Flank gains increased gun damage and action skill damage, so that's just overall pretty damn dope. And that'll help with some of the other skill trees as well. So plus 25% action skill damage and just an overall 15% extra gun damage. So you can't go wrong with that. Flank gains a chance to score a critical hit with weapons against any part of the enemies. So just hit the toe, hit the leg, hit the arm, whatever. 20% chance is going to be a critical hit. So it's like hitting it in the head. It's a pretty dope, cool thing to have there. Especially if you're hitting a lot of enemies, over and over and over again. Let's say you send out like 100 bullets. 100 of those bullets each of them have a 20% chance of hitting critically. So if you have a gun that actually shoots just a bunch of, pellets, like a shotgun or something like that, there's a good chance that you're gonna have this 20% critical hit thing to actually work. And there was some other stuff here, increasing the damage and stuff like that by hitting critical hits. So you can really, really see that the hunter skill tree kind of stays true to its name. So this is a pretty cool skill tree to go over. So here's Master. I imagine this one is more oriented towards the actual beasts themselves. So on this one we have the Skag, but let's go over to the Gamma Burst action skill. Flame creates a rift at a target location, teleporting their pet through the rift and dealing radiation damage to nearby enemies. If you guys didn't know, Borderlands 3 has a new type of element that is the radiation. So radiation is the new type. Pre-sequel gave us frost, and the other ones are old history, but we have radiation damage now, and it seems that Gamma Burst is one of those things that we're going to have as an action skill for our boy Flank here. Additionally, Flank's pet becomes irradiated, growing in size and dealing bonus irradiation damage when it attacks. I think we've actually seen gameplay of this, where the pet actually grows in size. Using Gamma Burst while Flank's pet is downed or dead will revive the pet at the target location with 30% of its health, but will double the action skill cooldown time. So you can revive them if they go down with this, but The action skill cooldown time is increased, so it looks like it's an additional 30 seconds added on to that, so it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to do that. Let's start looking at the action, the actual skills, what we can dip our points into. Flank's pet deals increased damage, so boom, right away you can already have 50% more damage than before, which is pretty nice. So if you do want to use one of the other pets, it's not a big deal. You can just spec points into this, and no matter which creature you pick, you get to pick them right off at the beginning, so it's not a big deal. So you can increase their damage right here. Increase Flank's gun damage and action skill duration, not a bad one to have at all. You can match this one with some of the skills through here, which I think increase duration as well, hunter skill duration, so you can increase the duration on a lot of different things here. Go for the eyes. While Flank's pet attack an enemy, the first melee is an automatic critical hit and deals increased damage, so you can spec a lot of points into that. So let's see, we can have a 50% damage increase from the pets right off the bat, starting from the beginning, which is pretty nice. Moving on, so we have the very first action skill, Augment. So let's see what this is. While Gamer Burst is active, Flank's pet is surrounded by an radiation aura, constantly damaging all nearby enemies. Not too bad. That's pretty good, dope. Who rescued Hugh? Who? Whenever Flank's pet deals damage, Flank regenerates health for a few seconds. Whenever Flank deals damage to an enemy, their pet's health is restored for a portion of the damage dealt. So you can upgrade that. It looks like you can convert even more of the damage dealt to the pet's health by upgrading that. And it says 0% of max health a second. So upgrading it starts the ability to start giving you max health regeneration. Wow, okay. That's kind of interesting. It doesn't just start like that. You have to actually earn it by using another skill point, or just using a skill point to start it. When Flank's pet takes damage, the pet returns some of that damage to the attacker. That's cool. It makes sense for the pufferfish. Hunter skill. When Flank's pet deals damage, Flank and their pet gain a stack of frenzy. Each stack of frenzy increases damage. The stacks decay after a few seconds, so keeping the kills, you can stack that up and do even more damage, bonus damage there. So let's look at the second action skill, Augment. For the duration of game reverse, damage dealt by Flank is increased by 20. Not bad. We can put that on right now. Psycho head on a stick. Okay. Hunter kill skill. Whenever Flank kills an enemy, their pet gains increased movement speed and damage for a few seconds. Not too bad. Pretty cool looking skill there. When Flank takes damage, a portion of all the damage they take is shared to their pets instead. Whoa. Wait. When Flank takes damage, a portion of the damage they take is shared to their pet instead. What the fuck? What the fuck? So you just transfer your damage over. That's kind of... what? I've read through a couple of these. I didn't realize that one was saying that exactly. So it could be 15%. That's kind of fucked up. What if you get hit by like something really hard and just kills your pet? I don't know how much the health the pets have, but we'll have to check that out. So it's the first one of actually changing the skag completely. So the Great Horn Skag. Flank Skag evolves into a larger Great Horn Skag, which will increase Flank's damage and gun damage. When Flank issues an attack command, the Great Horn Skag will charge enemies, blah, blah, blah. We know about that. So instead of just adding a normal damage buff, this actually adds a 10% gun damage buff. That's pretty cool. Nice to have that. So we get this one here. When Flank or Flank's pet kills an enemy, while Game Reverse is activated, the duration of Game Reverse is extended and the pet is increased. Pet damage is increased, which affects can stacked 5 times. Not too bad. That's kind of cool. Moving on. Passive ability increases the power of pet bonuses granted to Flank. Oh wow. You can increase that quite a bit. Is that 100? Yeah, 100. Oh no, 100. Yeah, 100. When Flank's pet is low at health, it gains damage reduction and regenerates health. That'll be nice. Plus 30% damage reduction. Hell yeah. Plus 40% max pet health. Mutated defense cooldown 15 seconds. Not bad. So moving on, we have the Iridian Skag. Flank Skag evolves into a Iridian Skag, which will increase Flank's damage and fire rate. So it's fire rate in place of 10% gun damage, with only 5% fire rate. So you kind of have to pick and choose. It doesn't seem like just because this one right here, the Iridian Skag, is further down in the skill tree, it doesn't seem like just because it's further down in the skill tree it's better. More or less, it seems like it just wants you to choose a decision. And some of these augments on the side don't also necessarily feel like they're better because they're lower. It kind of seems like they're just different, although I think this one right here, the 8 burst, probably is one that's a lot better. But a lot of times it seems like the stuff on the side is just kind of picking a choice, not necessarily that they're a lot better just because they're lower. Obviously, some of them I think are that way, but it doesn't always seem like that when it comes to reading some of them. After using Gamma Burst, the Rift remains for the duration of the skill. While standing near the Rift, Flank and their allies repeatedly regenerate health. I wonder if that is when it says allies. If it's talking about teammates or just his pets when they say allies. It's kind of confusing, and we're not going to be able to fully understand that until we test it out. All damage dealt by Flank and their pets is increased. Additionally, the maximum health of both Flank and their pet is increased as well. That's pretty nice. You get 15% bonuses on that if you upgrade that all the way. Shared Spirit. While Flank is low at health, a portion of all damage they take a share to their pet instead. 50% shared. So that's 15 there, and that's 50. God damn. So you could transfer a hefty bit of damage over. So let's see the very last one on the master skill tree. Melee override skill. So it's a melee override. Amara had one of these as well. Flank establishes dominance over any enemy, turning it into an ally for a short time. Wow. If the enemy is a beast, the duration is doubled. Wow. What the hell? Well, under the effects of dominance, that's the name of it. Dominance. The target constantly loses health until it dies or the effect ends. Damn. Only one enemy can be dominated at a time. Any enemy can only be dominated once. So you can dominate them once, and it happens for 12 seconds. Target loses 2% of maximum health a second. Wow. Can this be done to bosses? It also says it has to be like, if the enemy is a beast, duration is doubled. So that gives me the assumption that it's not set to only being beasts that you can do this to. You can do this to other just enemies. It says that if the enemy... sorry, I realize I can't go over and look at that without the text being put away. Flank establishes dominance over an enemy. And then it includes, but if it's also a beast, it's doubled. So it seems like you can do that to just normal-ass enemies. That's kind of insane. Let's move over to the last skill tree, the Stalker. This is where we get the Jabber, equip the Jabber. Let's move on to Fade Away, the action skill for Stalker. Flank cloaks, turning invisible. Flank can fire 3 shots while cloaked, and each shot is automatically a critical hit. Wow. So I don't think it matters where you shoot them at. It's just automatically a critical hit because you're cloaked, and I guess they just won't be able to see you, right? While cloaked, Flank increases movement speed and health regeneration. Let's see that. 3% health per second. A 45-second cooldown rate. The action skill is 15 seconds. Fade Away, critical hit damage 200. Although you can probably increase that skill duration by using some of the different stuff from the other skill trees. So if you're trying to build this cloak to be on longer, you can use some of the other skill trees to increase that amount of time. And I wonder if maybe you can do some other stuff to increase the amount of shots. I guess we have to see that here while we go down the skill tree. Flank's maximum health is increased, and they constantly regenerate. That's a good one to do right off the bat, guys. If this were me, I probably would go with this maximum health and go for the pet's increased damage right off the bat. I mean, it's something that you automatically have there. You can pour 10 points into. Those first points are going to be easy. Get yourself 50% more pet damage and get yourself this maximum health here. Let's see how it goes. So 30% more maximum health and a 2% max health regeneration forever. You're going to add some more stuff on probably later to give yourself even more, but that's something to look forward to and probably make your life a lot easier when just playing this game early on, having that stronger pet, having more health, and just flat more health regeneration. And the more you level up, you'll have even more health regeneration dealing with pretty much any of the other skill trees. It seems like all of them had some sort of health regeneration. Amara kind of had that as well. I think a lot of the characters are probably going to be like that. We'll probably see that be a trend. It looks like they're not trying to just set certain things to be specifically for just one character. It looks like all the characters can have health regeneration and some of this other cool stuff. But let's go on to Sikkim. Attack command has lowered cooldown and increased damage. So I guess if you're willing to do that, you can balance that out and go with that. Furious Attack, Hunter skill. After shooting an enemy, Flank gains a stack of Furious Attack. For each stack of Furious Attack, Flank's handling and gun damage are increased. Stacks decay over time, so it's another decaying stack kind of deal. So let's see what the first augment skill is for Stalker. Fade away no longer ends after flank attacks. At the cost of critical hit damage, the fade away duration being reduced. So you gain plus 50% critical hit damage and another duration of 8 seconds. Or I think the duration just becomes 8 seconds. Yeah. Duration is turned down. It starts at being 15 seconds. Now it's down to just 8, but at the expense of a plus 50% critical hit. So if you have like a boss or something like that, and you just click one to get bam, 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 3 quick shots on them, they're all going to be guaranteed criticals, probably with like a sniper or something like that, like a big gun. That might be worth it. Just that extra 50% critical hit is definitely going to be worth it. Eager to impress. Kill skill. Whenever flank kills an enemy, action skill cooldown time is reduced. That's obviously a no-brainer, a pretty good one if you're really trying to worry about that whole, you know, action skill cooldown time. That's an easy one. Allies share a portion of flank's total health regeneration. Flank's pet shares twice the amount of regeneration. Wow, so now you're sharing back to them, so that's pretty cool. Kind of vice versa with some of the other stuff we've seen in the skill trees. Flank gains increased fire rate. Flank gains even more fire rate after reloading. Not bad. So let's spec down to the next line of stuff. Sorry, I have a lot of notifications popping up. Probably should turn those off, huh? Not my circus. After fadeaway ends, Flank's pet will taunt, drawing the attention of all enemies in a huge radius. After a few seconds of taunting, the pet will gains a powerful damage reduction. Okay, cool. So it's the second augment we've seen. Oh, it's got the little dog with the beer and slap. After Flank is in fight for your life, your pet will attempt to revive them. Oh. Ooh, what a good boy. What a good boy. Turn tail and run. While moving, Flank constantly regenerates health and gains damage reduction. Wow. So it encourages you to run away. So let's see, this is the first Jabber action skill change. After Jabber evolves into a beefcake, discarding its pistol and equipping a shotgun instead, while accompanied by the beefcake, Flank gains increased movement speed and maximum health. So instead of just having movement speed, you now have movement speed plus 10% max health. Not bad. I'd definitely be trading that and going with that instead of the standard version of it. Obviously, I think one of these upgrades obviously are going to be better than the standard. It just seems to be that way. Until you are dead. The health regeneration and movement speed of Fade Away persists for a short time after the skill has ended, only 10 seconds. See, just because this one's lower than these two, I don't think it necessarily means that it's better than these ones. I definitely would go with these ones over that, but again, that's just kind of my opinion, what I think on some of these. I guess it's all subjective, I guess. The Fast and the Furious, it's Furious. While above half health, Flank's gun damage and movement speed are increased. Look at this one. Hidden Machine. When an enemy has no target or is attacking a different target, Flank deals damage against them. What? Also he'll just deal more damage. Okay. Some of these are just like, I gotta double take and read them again. Flank's Jabber upgrades his gear and equips an SMG. So it's SMG now. Flank gains increased movement speed and critical hit damage. So you're trading out critical hit now. You're keeping the movement speed for all of them, but you're just changing. Basically, you have just the movement speed, or you can choose between a 10% more max health, or you can have a critical hit damage this time. So you gotta kind of pick and choose those there. Let's see what this one is. Rage and Recover. Kill skill. After killing an enemy, Flank and Flank's pet regenerate health for a few seconds. That's a no-brainer. That's a pretty good one there. Unblinkable Eye. This is the last augment skill for the skill tree here. Successful hits on the same target increase Flank's critical hit damage per hit. Unblinking Eye resets every 3 hits. Okay, pretty cool. We looked at that one. Let's see the final one here on the Stalker. Flank and Flank's pet gain increased damage when Flank activates an action skill. If Flank is at full health, the increased damage is double. Wow. And it's just set numbers. You notice it's not percentages. It's actually set numbers. Wow. Okay, well that's it for this, guys. We've went over all of his skill trees. So we got Master, we got Stalker, and we got Hunter. I could definitely see some of these coinciding on the skill trees, working for each other. However, it seems like his is a little more specific for certain things. You can definitely tell the master one is just meant for the pets. It does a lot of the pet upgrades. So it doesn't work too well with some of the other ones, unless we're talking about just cooldown rate stuff. However, I think the Stalker one has some pretty unique, cool skills I think could make him have a pretty decent build. Having this Licking the Wounds one, I definitely think could be a really cool skill to have. Definitely make Flank last a lot longer in battle, just because they'll attempt to revive them. It doesn't have like, you know, could we just constantly keep going down again? Will you keep picking this up every time? There's not a percentage here either. It says it will attempt to revive them. There's no set percentage. Does that mean that they're more than likely sometimes going to get us, or because there's no percentage or anything, does that mean they're going to get us every single time? I don't know. It's kind of hard to understand what exactly that skill means. We're gonna have to see just exactly how some of these work out. Again, it's not 100% to understand all of this. We'll have to see in game some different things. Keep in mind, a lot of this probably isn't set in stone, and there will be patches as the game, you know, goes out and comes on, and you know, over months. There's going to be some things that are more likely going to be patched. Some icons might be changed, might look different. They might have to change a couple of different things. I think some of the characters, especially Amara, I don't think she has enough action skill augments. I think she need like one more. She seems a little bit underpowered when it comes to not having as many augments. Maybe that's just me, or maybe because I haven't played as her yet, I don't understand that she is more of a powerhouse with her action skill than anybody else. I would say that she seems to be more action skill elemental based, where Flank becomes more of attacking with a group of his guys and sharing with them damage and health regeneration and stuff like that. So he has a constant health regeneration kind of deal going on with him, while he's really closer to his pets and having them to depend on while he depends on them. It's kind of like a codependence thing kind of with each other with him. So it's pretty cool. And his action skills also seem to work for his pets in favor as well for some of the stuff he has. So I can see him being really cool build, especially with each of the different animals. I'm really curious what some builds people will do when it comes to that. And right off the bat, it's pretty cool with him. He gets to literally have a buff right away. More movement speed, more health regeneration. He can have health regeneration right off the bat, more damage right off the bat, or he can just move faster right off the bat, which is pretty crazy. He can move 5% faster than any of the players right in the beginning of the game. I think some of them also had some movement speed stuff too as well. I'm not too sure. I don't think they get it that early on though. That's going to wrap up this video, guys. I'm going to be doing Mose's video next. I'm going to be going over her stuff, her skill tree, and everything else is a little bit different too, but I'll be sure to give you the best stuff here, guys. So please like, comment, subscribe for content. Come back for my next video. I have my Twitch down below if you guys ever want to see me play this game. I will be streaming Borderlands 3 when it comes out September 13th here on the channel, but once I beat the story mode, I'll probably go onto my Twitch, and that's when I'll be doing final bosses, DLC, blah blah blah, whatever else, farming, yada yada yada. You get what I'm saying? Second playthrough, stuff like that. However, the main campaign will be here. If you're wanting that crisp Borderlands news, trust me, community, I am here for you. I'll have all the spicy details and the critical information that you will need. I'm not biased in any way. Gearbox does not pay me in any way. None of that happens. I am solely here to inform you and give you the best Borderlands content possible. But thank you so much for the support in the last video. I appreciate all of you. That video did way more successful than I thought it would have. I put a lot of time and effort into some of those. I'm trying to make my YouTube content be, you know, even better than it has been. But thank you all for watching this video. I will see you all on the next one, and you know, have a splendid day. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching.